Hi, I'm Lily. Today I'm going to read a story, Lucky, Happy Kim. Reading it to level 3A. Lucky, Happy Kim. Okay, let's read it. My dream of raising a puppy got shattered once again. Junsu Kim, are you still nagging for a dog? Okay. If you win first or second prize in the upcoming math contest, I will get you a puppy. Mom had finally given in. I felt confident in math since I had already won first place last year, so I shouted Yippee and prepared for the contest. However, was I too cocky or excited about the idea of getting a dog? So, what happened? Third place? Were you daydreaming about puppies during the contest? The questions were extremely tricky this time. Even the best student in my class only took second prize. Come on, wise guy. Someone from another class must have won first place, no? Yes, I replied helplessly. I grabbed my jump rope because the jump rope skills assessment, which had been postponed due to the contest, was now just around the corner. I had planned to practice jump rope with Juan at the roadside park today. Where are you going? Did you finish your homework? Mom, who was cooking dinner, scowled at me. She seemed to be upset with the contest results, even more than I was myself. I had no excuse. The two hard questions that the math geniuses in my class couldn't solve and made them miss first place were actually easy for me. Even Miss Lee, my class teacher who heartily grimaced, had frowned and gave me light lookies twice. We have a jump rope test soon. I'm going to practice with Hongwon at the park. I replied bluntly and left the house. The area next to Water Fortune at the park where I was supposed to meet home was empty. The ground was moist after the rain and the scent of flowers filled the air, yet my heart was as cold as ice. The rope kept getting caught in my feet. Eventually I gave up practicing. Hoon did not show up. Ding! I got my mobile phone from my pocket to check the message. It was Hoon. Junsu, I'm sorry. I got scolded for my performance in the math contest by mom, dad, and even my uncle. I'm texting you from the bathroom. I didn't dare mention our jump rope practice. You will have to practice without me today. I have to learn geometry from my uncle again because I got most of the geometry questions wrong. Nothing was going right for me today. Juan's uncle was a college student majoring in mathematics. Juan got private lessons from him instead of going to cram schools. He had once told me that his uncle was far stricter than most cram school teachers. It was bad enough having his mom and his uncle on his back, but why was his father home at this time of the day? Oh, I remember hearing that his dad had quit his job and started his own business. Practicing more wouldn't have made the much difference, so I decided to quit the day and go back home. Just then, out of nowhere, a chubby puppy raced towards me and looked up at me, yelping excitedly. I crouched down and petted the puppy. He sprang up to my knee and licked the back of my hand. He was cute and lovely. In other words, he was adorable in any sense of the word. But wait, where had he come from? I looked around. Nobody was near me, but there were people strolling around the park, riding bicycles on the bike trail, and whizzing by in my skates. Hey puppy, where's your owner? No sooner had I asked the puppy and someone replied, Here. I looked back, squatting down. A girl my age held a jump rope in her hand was standing behind me. She was tall and as skinny as a wooden stick. I put the dog down on the ground and stood up. The puppy tugged and my pants and begged me to play. But since the owner was there, it was time to stop. Do you like dogs? Said the skinny girl with gleaming eyes. Yes, I'm in 8th grade. You must be in the elementary school, 4th grade? No, I'm in 5th grade. I was surprised. I thought she was at my age. Maybe she was lying. Besides, with a jump rope in her hand, I couldn't help but thinking she was a student from my school. Do you really go to middle school? Which one? Hey kid, does everybody like to you? The girl glared at me. Which area do you live in? I live near Changam grocery store. Me? Oh, near the dry cleaners. I answered bitterly. I couldn't shake off the feeling that she was fooling me. Changam grocery store was in my neighborhood, and my family did most of our grocery shopping there. Were you practicing jump rope too? Let me see how good you are. I'm done for today. Really? Then do you mind looking after Lucky while I practice? Without waiting for my answer, she stepped in the middle of the rope and balanced herself. Then she swung the rope tightly. Tip, tip, tip. Wow, she's good, like an athlete. I watched for her carefully while stroking the puppy. The more I observed, the more impressed with their jump rope skills. By the look of her skills, she was definitely older than me. She might look around my age, but the energy of a middle school student emerged. Although she swung the rope in a relaxed way, her her rhythmic jumps were steady and supple. She did what is called double under twice in a row and jumped the rope with her arm crossed. Your honor is awesome, I was talking to the puppy without even realizing it. I was really relieved. I was relieved that I had stopped practicing in advance. I would have been humiliated if I had jumped the rope in front of such a pro. Tip, 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 tip. I could tell practice was close to the end as her springs got visibly slower. She stopped. Wow, she had jumped rope for 10 minutes without tripping even once. It was amazing. Oh, you're pro athlete? No, I used to be a track and field athlete when I was in elementary school, but I want to be a model if I grow taller. You mean a fashion model? The models have to be extremely tall. You're right, so I'm considering different paths like a researcher, fashion model, piano instructor, military officer, taekwondo master, and so on. At first, I didn't understand what she meant by path, but I then realized that she was talking about what she wanted to do in the future. What do you want to be when you grow up? She asked while putting her robe away. I want to be a veterinarian and run my own animal hospital. And that's it for now. It's going to be tough if you just pursue one path. You have to try out different paths and test your potentials. Many futurologists predict that it will be difficult to live as a master of only one field in the future. Anyway, becoming a vet sounds like a good choice as you seems to like dogs. Then the girl spoke to her puppy in a commanding tone. Lucky, let's go now. Lucky seemed to have understood her and followed her. Lucky? That's a funny name. Common dog names like Buddy or Happy would be better. Lucky kept looking back at me, wagging his tail while following her. He reached the top of the uphill road. When he looked back again, the girl was out of sight as she was far ahead of him. See you again, Happy Kim, I waved and shouted to the puppy. Then, what a surprise! Happy Kim, no Lucky, started to dash toward me. After running a few steps toward the dog, I lowered my body and spread my arms out. Happy Kim, I meant Lucky, yeah, jumped into my arms. At that moment, we became one. The feeling of me being a dog and him being a human came over me. I carried him uphill. The girl was waiting for us there. Lucky must have sensed it already. Sensed what? Never mind. Do you want to carry him to my house? Again, the girl didn't wait for my answer and started to walk ahead. This is a relief. The one at the blue gate. The girl nodded her head as she looked up at my house. Then she continued to walk ahead. Soon we saw Chang grocery store. This is my home. Okay, her house was right behind the Chang'an grocery store. Thanks a lot, Mr. Kim. Huh? How do you know my last name? Didn't you shout Happy Kim? Isn't Kim your last name? Yes, it is. I didn't think you heard that. I'm Junsu Kim. What's your name? It's Sarah Jung. Please be a good friend of Lucky, or should I call him Happy Kim from now on? Sure, bring him in often. And that was the start of how I became close to Sarah and Happy Kim. When Sarah rang my doorbell holding Happy Kim, I joined them if I didn't have anything in particular to do. Several days passed and the seasons changed. At the roadside park, roses were in full. Roses. Oh, where is it? Roses were full in bloom, and the trees offered more shade. It rained softly one Saturday morning, and I was sleeping in because there was no school. In a half-asleep state, I heard someone calling my name. I rolled over and tried to get more sleep. Then I was wide awake by the sound of a dog barking. Lucky, it's Happy Kim. I rushed outside in my pajamas. Oof, oof, oof. Happy Kim was barking outside the gate in front of the soft rain. What's the matter? Did you run away from home this early in the morning? I heard a whining. Happy came closely against my chest and walked to Sarah's house. They moved out. The man who looked like a new resident was unpacking boxes in the yard. Moved out? I met Sarah yesterday. I tilted my head and headed back home. On the way, I noticed something tied to Happy Kim's collar. It was a letter. I sat on the front door steps at my house and read the letter. Yeah, dear Junsu, I'm writing in hopes that Happy Kim will go to your house. Happy Kim was an abandoned dog. I found him near the riverside about a year and a half ago. I brought him to my home and named him Lucky. Suddenly, my home is moving to Chungcheongdo. Chungcheongdo. I thought about taking him with me, but you seem to love him more than I do, so I decided to send him to you. I walked past your house with him on purpose so he could remember your scent. I think Happy Kim already knew what was going to happen. He instantly fell in love with you the moment he saw you, so I'm going to let him go before I got into the car. It's up to him to decide whether he wants to find you or becomes a stray dog again. However, I practiced him for more than a week. Junsu lives here. He's going to be your family. You remember this house, right? If you have nowhere to go, come here and call Junsu. After I told him this, I unleashed him and followed him. I'm sure he understood what I told him because he barked in front of your house every time. I did this only when you weren't at home, so you'd have no idea. Please take good care of him. I hope his heart doesn't get broken and that he doesn't become an abandoned dog again. By the way, I think you will be fine sticking to just one path. Well, at least that's my 2 cents. I wish you and Happy Kim all the best and happiness. Sincerely, Sarah. When I finished reading the letter, Happy Kim burst at me. He didn't cry, just snuggling my knees as usual. Instead, he quietly wagged his tail and looked at me as if he was waiting for my decision. Yes, I read the letter. Come here, buddy. Happy Kim readily said on my knees. He clearly understood human language. It was my turn to start learning dog language. I felt confident as my one and only path was becoming a veterinarian. So from now on, I would pursue just that path with all my heart, and Happy King would be with me all the way. Bye!